Hello, my name is Stephen Bedard, and I'd like to just take a few minutes to talk to you about what I think is the greatest need in the church today. And what I believe that we need to be focusing on is discipleship. Now, many people would say, no, it should be evangelism, or it should be church growth, or it could be any number of other things. But I would say discipleship really is what we should be focusing on. And I'm not trying to take anything away from evangelism or church growth. Of course, those things are extremely important. But I believe that if we focus on discipling the people that we have in our churches now, then we will be better able to evangelize, and that we would see some natural church growth because people would be attracted to what the church really is. Rather than just a bunch of people in a building getting involved in programs, they would see people who are developed disciples of Jesus. Now, I am concerned about the level of discipleship in churches, and I believe that pastors and church leadership need to catch a vision for the importance of discipleship. When Jesus gave us the Great Commission, it was for us to make disciples, not just converts, not just church members, but to make disciples. And so we need to really be working at that. And when it comes to discipleship, of course, there's all kinds of aspects to that. There's worship, there's prayer, there's giving, and all kinds of different aspects of the Christian life that needs to be involved in discipleship. But I see three particular areas that we need to focus on immediately. The first one is biblical knowledge. Very concerned about the limited biblical knowledge among people in our churches. I've had conversations with pastors who have acknowledged the low level of biblical literacy and have just given into it and have surrendered by saying, we'll just have to keep the Bible illustrations to a minimum because people are just not going to understand anyways. And I think that's the wrong way to go. We need to increase the amount of Bible in messages, increase the number of Bible readings in worship services. We need to promote Bible studies and promote individual devotions, and the churches need to be providing resources for Christians to work on that and to develop in their understanding of the Bible. The second area I see as important is that of theology. Now, I know when people hear theology, they think of boring lectures, but that's not what theology has to be. Theology literally is words about God, and so that should be something that is exciting. And I think basic theology has got to be taught to the people in our churches. When I first became a Christian at the church I was at, they had a one-year Sunday school program that you could go through and learn about all of the major doctrines of Christianity. And that was so important for me to go through that. It not only gave me information, but gave me a desire to learn more. And I can attribute to that my interest in becoming a pastor and being involved in the academic side as well. And so churches have got to be aware of this, and they need to be intentional in getting the basic theological concepts across to the people in our churches. People need to know what the Trinity is. People need to know why we believe that Jesus is God. They need to understand the incarnation. There's so many theological concepts that need to be reinforced in our people, and churches have got to take this seriously. The third area is that of apologetics, and I know not everyone is into apologetics, and I understand that, but the situation is that there is anti-Christian apologetics going on all the time. It's in documentaries and best-selling books and blogs and internet sites and all kinds of other things. There are people who are very active at trying to take away from the truth of Christianity, and whether or not a pastor is all that interested in apologetics doesn't really matter. People are encountering these ideas, and so if a pastor is not interested in being involved in it, they should find someone in their church who can be a person to resource the people in the congregation in terms of apologetics, and people need to be ready. It's not something that is given just to what are sometimes called apologetics junkies. Rather, we are all expected to be able to give an answer for the reason for the hope within us. And so I would encourage you to include that in discipleship as well. So the three things that I've talked about for discipleship, to focus on biblical knowledge, theology, basic theology, and apologetics, to include that and to teach our people so that they have a good, solid background. And I also want to conclude this by saying that this is not something that will happen accidentally. Discipleship never happens accidentally. We need to be intentional. We need to figure out ways to do this, resources that we can pass on. We need to plan out our preaching and teaching schedules so that we have a focused way of getting the proper information across. And so I would encourage you to take this seriously and to pass this information on. I provide some discipleship resources at my website, www.stephenjbedard.com, and I'd invite you to come and visit the website and to see what you can find there. Thank you for watching this video, and God bless.